When you call an order in, that's where it's going to get generated, and then once it's generated, then it goes into production that day. And there is nothing in this shop that's pre-built, so everything you order has to be built from scratch, based off your ingredients you give us. You place the order, this is going to get generated out. This is what we're going to build off of. This is probably the biggest part of Henry-Griffitts here. A customer can call in and give me their name, and we can sit there and pull up their specs for them and tell them exactly what they got, how it's built, and what it's built up. Everything that comes into Henry-Griffitts, shafts, heads, and grips, is torn apart out of the boxes and evaluated for whether it can go into the good bin or not. We weigh our shafts, and we roll the shafts, and we frequency the shafts. They do have tolerances that we have to accept, but not too many companies actually check that to see if they're within that spec. This is the machine that we use to actually determine the flexes. But basically, we have the hydraulics set up where it can put the same amount of pressure on there, so it's always consistent. And it comes up with a number and it tells us where to put it. So every shaft goes through this. So what we do is frequency everything, and when you order a set based off the length, we'll pull them all out of the same one. And then that number is recorded on that form, so we know where to pull the next one that they order out. So this is our cutting machine. And the nice thing about this machine, it's all computerized up here. So if you order a set of golf clubs that you want, a half-inch over standard, we'll move it to it. If you want a quarter, call it out. We'll do a quarter for you. Henry-Griffitts believes in every club feeling the same. So we do what we call a frequency flat line. From that 5-iron to that pitching wedge will be no more than 12 cycles. In most cases, on a set of golf clubs, they cut everything off the tip, and you're looking at close to 30 cycles difference between a 5 or a 3 and a pitch. A set takes us 2 cuts to make it complete, to make that frequency match. Henry-Griffitts has proven and knows that this is the way to cut. So the next step is going to be the sanding. This is where we'll prep that tip so that it gets ready for the epoxy, rough it up. And we're going to hand turn it on here so we can feel for those bent shafts. Because that'll, as we're rotating that shaft, it'll tell us, well, this shaft's really out of whack, let's replace it. The next whole line all the way down is our heading area. You can see this is all weighted. Every box that comes in, our heads are weighed, and they're inspected for scratches and everything else. So if you order a set and it's a full set, we're going to start with that 6-iron at 262, let's say, and then we're going to match everything up to it. So they all balance the same, swing off the same. And that swing weight is recorded on that order form as well. We have a nice line of left-handed heads, both fairway, hybrids, drivers, and the irons now. It's the advantage of having a large stock to select from. Nice thing about this is these heads come in hollow. So we, on woods, instead of being at the mercy of the supplier and hoping they hit the weight we want, we have them come in as light as possible. And what we'll do is take this glue machine. Now you can go heavier or you can go lighter because this comes in light. We can, at the time of the order, you can call out for what you want. And then the other thing we'll do with the driver is we'll take them and we'll read each driver on our reading machine. That's what this is, just a reading machine. So we made sure the face angle's right, and then we'll actually read the loft again. Make sure that it's in the middle where we're reading ours, it's 12.5. Then other thing is the lie angle. The nice thing about Henry-Griffitts is if you're fitting somebody and they're hitting this 12.5 and you know it's square in your system, you can say, look, can you see if you can't find me a degree open driver? Or can you find me a degree closed driver? Sure, we'll write it down in there and we'll go read them and we'll find you one. We have to read every one of these fairway woods, and then what we'll do is we'll actually take it, wrap it up here, and then we'll put it into our wood bending machine, and then we can bend it with the hosel. Our tolerance on lie angle is plus or minus a half, and our tolerance on loft is plus or minus a half. And this, of course, this is where we'll bend anything from 6 up to 7 flat. And of course, if you want something outside of that, just ask. We'll see what we can do. Lofts, of course, are adjustable pretty much 3 to 3. Here's how we follow how to bend the lies and lofts. They're right there. It tells us exactly what to bend each iron to. And that all comes from the teacher fitter. So that's what's unique about Henry-Griffitts again, is the wide range that's available. There's really not much limitation. Andy is actually puring. He does all the puring. He's the best there is at this. So what he's doing right now is he's putting the shaft in. So he's going to rotate that shaft 360 degrees so the computer gets to know it. And this is designed to tell people this is what would happen, what your shaft would look like in a golf club if we didn't do this. Basically, it's going to oscillate. See that how it's moving down here? Now Andy knows, okay, I've got to get that thing down so that oscillation's gone. So now the machine's telling them where to go to start puring. You can see it starting to tight up. And that's what he's trying to do, is get it so the deviation of the shaft, the droop, and then the oscillation is gone. And then what he's going to do now is he's going to set it to the degree that he got and mark it so that we're ready to line that up with the head. The key is making sure that every shaft is done this way so that you don't have those missed shots. It's not fair to the individual who's playing to get lessons and goes through all this work to have a shaft that's going to oscillate to the right, and they can't understand why. Now we're just ready for grip. What we do is we weigh all our grips. Since we went to all that effort to balance everything out the same over here, now we're going to back weight this with a grip. We're going to use the same weight grip on every club, and we're going to record that gram weight of that grip on that order form so that on matches or replacement clubs we know what we used and what weight to use. Now what we'll have is we'll have our final swing weight. And the goal here, of course, is to have every club that's supposed to be on that rack match it. This over here is final check. Tina will take and measure the clubs in length to make sure nothing happened there. Everything got seated right, the caps are seated right. She'll put the personal name tag on each club, and then the SST Pure stickers on to show that they were pured. She'll check all the cosmetics, make sure the right heads are on, make sure the lofts are right, that we're supposed to be on the woods. Basically, then she'll go in and she'll put her shrink wrap on the heads. This is what it's going to look like when they open it up. Nice bagged up here, nothing gets scratched. Shrink wrap, head covers on the woods. To me, the most important part of this ingredient is the teacher fitter. To me, that's what makes this company. It's the good quality teacher fitters out there. And you know, the bigger companies don't seem to think that you're needed.